GNSS, GPS, S-Bus. There are so many abbreviations in our positioning menu on our chart plotter. But what do they actually stand for? So in this video, we will now take a closer look about the settings in our positioning menu on our Axiom chart plotter from Raymarine. But we will also go in detail on how the position can actually be so accurate. I'm Mo from MARCOM and I will guide you through the video. Short side note. The content of this video was created by me and my team, but we used AI to translate my voice, so please excuse any minor pronunciation errors from now on. Having said that, let's get started with the video. When we talk about determining position using satellites, we're always talking about GPS. The GPS displays something, the GPS has an error, but in the end, GPS is just a satellite system for determining position, namely the satellite system of the Americans. In addition, there are also satellite systems for position determination from Europe, Russia, or China. All these satellite systems are grouped together under the name Global Navigational Satellite System, abbreviated as GNSS. However, in the following, I will also always refer to GPS, because GPS is simply the most common form. But you should know that GPS is just one satellite system. Let's take a closer look at the settings options on the chart plotter. At the top left of the home screen, we see the coordinates of our current position. With a single click on the coordinates, a pop-up menu opens and we immediately see the accuracy of our current position in the unit of length. With another click on satellites, an overview window opens where we can see the satellites that are currently being used for position determination. Satellites that are being used for positioning are shown in green, satellites that are being tracked are shown in red, and if the signal from a satellite is lost, it is displayed in white. At the bottom left, you see a legend for the individual symbols of the satellite systems. The green check mark indicates which satellite system is currently being used for positioning. To the right of that, with Show Signal, I can display the signal strength of each individual satellite. Once selected, blue bars appear next to the satellites, showing me the strength of the signal. At the top center, where it currently says Internal GPS via Internal, we are shown which satellite receiver is currently being used for positioning. In this case, it is the internal antenna of the Axiom chart plotter. On the right side, we have additional information associated with our position. HDOP, horizontal delusion of precision, is a measure of the accuracy of the position, or more precisely, for the geometric determination of the position. All values below 2 are sufficient for us as recreational boaters. Values below 1 are, for example, of interest for survey vessels and surveying work. With 1.5 we have a good value here. Below that, we also find the accuracy of our position, currently about 5 meters. The fixed status means that the position is currently being determined via satellite. Below that we find the position, the date and the time. The time is the current UTC time. We will go into more detail about the mode, automatic differential, later. Below that we find the datum, WGS 1984. I would like to take a closer look at what exactly is meant by the datum. Before we continue, don't forget to check the link below in the video description to get your free access to our demo course. In our online course, you will find further videos about your Axiom chart plotter as well as free checklists to download. So I will see you there after the video. The term datum is used multiple times in navigation. For example, in search and rescue operations, the datum refers to the position where a person went overboard and where the search and rescue pattern is then established. For position determination, the datum refers to an internationally recognized reference system. The core of this reference system is the so-called reference ellipsoid, which is an assumed shape of the Earth on which the coordinate system is then based. At this point, let's dive deeper into the fundamentals of navigation. We know that the Earth is not a perfect sphere. So, in a greatly simplified way, the Earth's surface looks more like what is shown in this illustration. The so-called geoid describes a shape of the Earth that is already closer to reality, but even the geoid is still an organic form. For position determination, there is a geometric formula. Of course, a geometric formula must also be based on a geometric shape. And this is exactly where our reference ellipsoid comes into play. This ellipsoid is a global, that is, worldwide approximation of the Earth's shape. This assumed Earth shape is now the basis for our position determination. Why this is so important can be explained in a very simplified way using the height of a mountain as an example. If, for example, the mountain has the height h, then the height is measured between our reference point and the summit of the mountain. Now what if we change this reference point? For example, if we switch to ED50, the outdated European datum from 1950, then the height h of the mountain also changes. Of course, the mountain hasn't actually grown, only our reference point has changed. And it's similar when it comes to determining positions. In 1984, there was an agreement to use this reference ellipsoid, which is why it's called WGS 84. As we've just learned, it's very important to know which reference system a nautical chart is based on, so you'll find this information printed on every paper nautical chart. But don't worry, nowadays all international nautical charts use the WGS 84 reference system. However, there are still some local charts with local reference systems, such as those for North America. But that's enough about nautical basics for now. Let's take a look at what settings we can adjust on the chart plotter regarding position determination. So to access the settings, we click on the Settings tab at the top. First, we have the option to choose between the different satellite systems we want to use for position determination. In addition to GPS, we can also select Beidou, the Chinese system, Galileo, the European system, and GLONASS, the Russian system. If we now switch between the different systems here, for example by turning off GPS and Beidou, we always get a warning that satellite positioning has been lost, simply because the system is rebooting in the background to determine the position anew. So, if we now go back to Fix, we can see that only the available Galileo satellites are displayed. As a result, our positional accuracy is naturally somewhat reduced. If we go back to Settings and also turn on the GPS system and now look here in the positioning overview, we can see that many more satellites are available to us. However, if a system is somehow blocked, not working, or sending incorrect information, we have the option to select only one system here. If any of these selection options are grayed out for you, it means your GPS receiver is not capable of receiving data from other satellite systems. So you can only use the US GPS system. Below that, we find differential positioning. Behind this is the so-called SBAS system, the satellite-based augmentation system. I'd like to briefly illustrate what this means to you with a graphic. So we're on our ship, out on the water, and for determining our position, we have our GNSS satellites available to us. These send a signal directly to us on board. The basic principle for determining position using satellites is the so-called time of flight measurement, meaning, how long does the signal take to travel from the satellite down to me on board? Ideally, the signal travels in a straight line. In reality, however, it's the case that, especially in the ionosphere, the signal gets deflected, so the travel time changes and our position becomes significantly less accurate. Here we're talking about an accuracy of realistically 10 to 20 meters. And this is exactly where our SBAS system comes into play. The SBAS system is based, first and foremost, on a so-called reference station on land. The satellites also send a signal to the reference station on land. Of course, this signal is subject to the same disturbances that we have in the ionosphere. This signal is then forwarded to a data center, a so-called mission control center. This data center now knows the exact, precise position of the reference station and the position that the GNSS satellites have transmitted to it. The difference between these two positions is therefore the correction factor that we also need on board to make our positions more accurate. This correction factor is then transmitted via a ground station to a satellite, a so-called SBAS satellite. In Europe, for example, this satellite system is called EGNOS and consists of 3 satellites. And that's where the name satellite-based comes from. This satellite does nothing more than send this correction factor to us on board, so that our device, together with the information from the GNSS satellites, determines the position and thus makes our position considerably more accurate. We're now talking about a positional accuracy of about 1 meter to a few meters. So SBAS plays a major role in enabling us to make extremely accurate position determinations nowadays. And all of this via satellite. So you see, SBAS significantly increases the precision of our positioning. With Select SBAS, you now get an overview of the various available SBAS stations. You can select and deselect these, however it's recommended to simply have all of them switched on here. At the top left, tap back to return to the settings. Below that we have COG and SOG filter, course over ground, and speed over ground filter. These are calculated data. They are calculated from previous GPS positions. For example, have you ever wondered why, during a quick course change, your course over ground vector reacts a bit more slowly? That's exactly the reason. Past position data is used to calculate the course and, by the distance, the speed. Depending on how much your vessel is moving, it can definitely make sense to filter this data. Here you can choose between high, medium, and low. If you're a slow vessel in heavy seas, your ship will start to roll, pitch, and yaw, a lot of movement in general. So you should set the filter to high. Are you more of a fast vessel? With calm seas, you should set the filter to low. But be careful, if you set the filter to low here, it can happen that your recorded route increases overnight, even though you were safely docked in the harbor. Inaccuracies in position determination are then added up as distance traveled. So if your distance traveled increases overnight, you should set this filter back to medium. By the way, this is also the reason why it is set to medium at the factory. The accuracy of your position data is not affected by this filter. Below that, we also have the option to turn off the internal GPS. For example, if I have a second GPS antenna and want to use it to determine my position, I can turn off the internal device here. And in the lower left corner, there's also the option to force a restart. For example, if after starting up my device can't find GPS or doesn't display a position, I simply click here to restart the internal GPS. So, we've now reached the end of this video. In this chapter, we took a detailed look at the settings and functions for determining position on our chart plotter. I'm looking forward to welcoming you in the next chapter.